History tends to flatten people into single moments. For one of the original followers of Jesus, a single moment of skepticism became a permanent label. 2,000 years later, we still remember him primarily as Doubting Thomas. In the days immediately following the crucifixion, Jerusalem was dangerous for anyone associated with Jesus of Nazareth. The early believers were hiding behind locked doors, afraid they might be the next ones arrested. When the other disciples claimed they had seen Jesus alive, Thomas refused to accept their word. He stated plainly that unless he could physically see the nail marks and touch the wounds with his own hands, he would not believe. A week later, that demand was met. Jesus appeared in that same locked room, turned directly to Thomas, and invited him to touch his hands and his side. Thomas responded with what remains one of the clearest declarations of Jesus' deity in all of Scripture. He simply said, "My Lord and my God." That encounter eradicated his skepticism. The empty space left by his doubt was replaced by absolute certainty that the resurrection was a physical reality. A man convinced that he has spoken with a resurrected king does not stay hidden in a locked room. Thomas packed whatever he had left and prepared to leave Jerusalem. The first-century Mediterranean was heavily controlled by the Roman Empire, which maintained an extensive network of international trade routes. Roman merchants sailed down the Red Sea and across the Arabian Sea to secure goods like black pepper, cinnamon, silk, and ivory from the east. This demand was fueled by heavy Roman currency. Caches of first-century silver denarii found across foreign coasts reveal how deeply connected these distant economies were. Because these maritime highways were already well established, early Christian missionaries didn't need to forge new paths through the wilderness. They boarded merchant ships. According to ancient Christian tradition, around the year 52 AD, Thomas left the borders of the Roman Empire. He crossed the unpredictable waters of the Arabian Sea on a vessel bound for India. He arrived on the Mylapore coast in present-day Kerala. He stepped into a thriving center of international commerce, surrounded by languages, customs, and religious traditions completely unfamiliar to a man from Judea. The spread of the early church relied on these physical realities. It took sturdy wooden ships, established trade winds, and a remarkable level of personal obedience to carry the message across the world. Thomas began his ministry among the local fishing and merchant communities, working along the backwaters of Kerala. Tradition records that he spent his days teaching small gatherings, baptizing new believers in the coastal rivers, and organizing the region's first local churches. This effort lasted for roughly 2 decades. As the local churches grew, Thomas continued to push eastward into new regions. By the year 72 AD, he had crossed the southern tip of the Indian subcontinent, arriving on the southeastern coast near a town called Mylapore. His preaching there drew intense opposition from local religious leaders. Yet, despite repeated warnings, Thomas refused to stop speaking publicly about Jesus. Early historical testimony holds that he was killed for his persistence. While praying on a hill outside the city, Thomas was pierced with spears and died as a martyr. The disciple who once demanded physical proof of a resurrection ultimately gave his own life on a hill in India, offering the final historical proof that he never doubted again. The communities he established survived. Today, the St. Thomas Christians of Kerala trace their direct spiritual heritage to his arrival in the 1st century. Because of his journey, India is home to one of the oldest continuous Christian traditions in the world, a community that existed long before the faith reached many parts of Europe. Near the site of his death in Chennai, the San Tome Basilica stands today, a physical marker preserving the historical memory of his obedience. The legacy of Thomas is a quiet reminder that God accomplishes extraordinary historical purposes through deeply imperfect people. His initial hesitation did not disqualify him. Instead, it became the exact place where resilient, enduring faith took root. It raises a question for anyone following Christ today. Are you willing to trust him, even if he asks you to leave everything familiar behind? To declare, "My Lord and my God," means handing over the map of your life completely. History remembers the people who crossed oceans and borders. The Church remembers the God who sent them.